Hello, and welcome to another episode in the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. My name is Jason Perkins. I'm an attorney who specializes in handling Georgia workers' compensation cases. I created this series of videos to provide people who've been hurt at work in Georgia with helpful information about Georgia's workers' compensation laws and the benefits they should receive under those laws. Now, let's jump straight into today's topic. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a question that I get asked a lot. And that question is, when will workers' compensation settle my workers' compensation case? Well, before we talk about that, let's first discuss what a workers' compensation settlement is. Because a lot of people don't really understand what that means. They've heard that term on TV or in some ads for attorneys. So they've got a basic understanding what it is, but maybe not a complete one. Basically, a workers' compensation settlement is the insurance company agreeing to pay you some lump sum amount of money, and in exchange, you're agreeing to give up your future workers' compensation rights. So, how I view a settlement is that the insurance company is essentially agreeing to buy your workers' compensation case, or you're selling it to them. They're willing to pay you money for that because your workers' compensation case may cost them money in the future if they don't settle with you. So as opposed to just paying that money out a little bit over time, they'd rather buy it with you for a certain lump sum amount of money. Now, in a Georgia workers' compensation case, judges cannot order workers' compensation settlements. So you can't go to court and present your case and get an order from a judge for a lump sum settlement amount. However, workers' compensation judges do have to approve workers' compensation settlements in Georgia in order for them to be final. What that means is if you agree with the insurance company on a settlement, before that settlement actually becomes final, it has to be signed off and approved by a workers' compensation judge. Now, can workers' compensation force you to settle your case? In other words, can they determine when you have to settle? No, the workers' compensation insurance company cannot force you to settle your case. You never have to settle your workers' compensation case if you don't want to. And that's a good thing because if the insurance company could force you to settle at a particular time, you might have to settle your case when you didn't want to. You might not yet have recovered to the point from your injury where you're really ready to settle your case. Maybe you've had a serious injury and you're going to need surgery or some other medical treatment before you really get better. If the insurance company could force you to settle, that could put you in a very bad situation. So, one of the good things in Georgia is that the workers' compensation insurance company cannot force you to settle your workers' compensation case. Now, it's good that the workers' compensation insurance company cannot force you to settle your workers' compensation case. But can you force the workers' compensation insurance company to settle with you if you want to settle? Well, no, you can't do that. But most of the time, the workers' compensation insurance company is going to be willing to settle with you. There are some exceptions to that. There are certain insurance companies and certain self insured employers that will not settle workers' compensation cases or will only settle them at very limited times. However, for the most part, most workers' compensation insurance companies and self insured employers are willing to settle your case really at any time. However, they also want to settle your case for as little as they possibly can. So, the difficult thing in a workers' compensation case is settling your case for the maximum amount possible when you want to settle your case. So, why is that difficult? Well, first of all, it's difficult on its own to settle your case for the maximum amount possible. Insurance companies are businesses, they're in business to make money. How they make money is by taking in insurance premiums from employers. So, I have workers' compensation insurance. I pay premiums for that insurance coverage. And so that premium is paid to a workers' compensation insurance company. That's the way the insurance company makes money. They also make money by paying as little as possible. So when somebody gets injured on the job, the workers' compensation insurance company that covers that employer is responsible for paying workers' compensation benefits. They're looking to pay out as little as possible. They do that by trying to limit the amount of workers' compensation benefits they pay if the case stays open, or by settling the case for as little as they possibly can. Now, in order to get an insurance company to pay the maximum amount in settlement, it requires a real understanding of Georgia's workers' compensation law and how it works. You need to be able to discuss with the workers' compensation insurance company why a workers' compensation case is going to cost them a lot of money in the future. Now, the second difficult part that I mentioned earlier is getting that maximum amount at the time that you want to settle your workers' compensation case, because you don't want to be forced to settle your workers' compensation case at any particular time. When you're probably going to want to settle your cases when you have a good understanding of what's going to happen to you in the future. So if you had a serious injury at work, it may be after some medical treatment, maybe some injections or surgery that's helped you recover from that injury. And then when you reach a certain point, you may be willing to consider settlement because you can make some good decisions about what might happen to you after settlement. Maybe you might be able to return to work. You may also need some knowledge of what your future medical treatment for your injury is going to cost. When you reach that point, getting an insurance company to pay a maximum amount can be difficult because the insurance company is going to want to pay as little as possible. So if the doctor said that you're better and you can go back to work, they're going to offer you a lot less money in that particular situation. So the difficult thing about settling with a workers' compensation insurance company for the max amount when you want to settle is having a good understanding of what the right timing for that is, and also a good understanding of the workers' compensation law to be able to get the maximum amount from the insurance company at that particular time. Now, you don't have to have a workers' compensation attorney representing you in order to settle your workers' compensation case. However, considering settlement is one of the times that I really recommend that somebody reach out and at least get a free consultation with a workers' compensation attorney to make sure that they have a good understanding of settlement and to talk to them about what an attorney could offer them if they wanted to get the attorney involved in order to help out with a workers' compensation case. I hope you found the information in this video helpful. If you have, please consider two things before you go. First, I'd really appreciate if you give this video a like or a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to this channel if you'd like to be notified of future videos in the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. Second, if you've got workers' compensation questions, please reach out to get answers. I offer free consultations in Georgia workers' compensation cases. If you'd like to set one of those up, there's two easy ways you can do so. The first is by calling the phone number at the bottom of the screen, and the other is by reaching out to us to our website, which is www.perkinslawtalk.com. Just click on and submit the free consultation request form there, and a member of our team will reach out to you and get a consultation scheduled. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video today. I'd like to wish you the best of luck as you recover from your injuries.